Why a stop loss is not risk management. Or how traders wear seatbelts while driving into a wall. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. The kind of truth that makes traders shift in their chairs, clear their throats, and say things like, "Yeah, but my strategy works though." Most traders, and yes, I mean most, believe they are managing risk simply because they use a stop loss. They say it confidently. They say it proudly. Some say it defensively, like they're holding up a badge. Relax, bro. I used a stop loss. That sentence right there, that sentence feels responsible. It sounds mature. It sounds like you know what you're doing. It sounds like you watched at least 3 YouTube videos and half of a baby pips lesson. You place the stop loss, lean back, crack your knuckles, and think to yourself, ah yes, professional trader behavior. But I'm here to ruin that moment for you, because that thought, as comforting as it feels, is incomplete, dangerously incomplete. A stop loss does not manage your risk. It only decides where one single trade dies. That's it. One trade, one funeral. And confusing those two things, trade protection versus risk management, is one of the most expensive misunderstandings in all of Forex trading. If you've ever blown an account while religiously using stop losses, if you've ever stared at your balance and said, "But I followed all my rules," then congratulations, this message is for you. Because clearly, the math wasn't mathing. Why stop losses feel like safety but aren't. Let's be fair for a second. Stop losses feel like safety because humans love visible protection. Think about it. A helmet on a bike, a seatbelt in a car, an insurance document sitting neatly in a folder. These things look protective. A stop loss is the same thing. It's a line on your chart, a number in your platform, a red dashed boundary that whispers, "Don't worry, I got you." And seeing it gives your brain a warm little hug. Your anxiety drops, your confidence rises, you enter the trade thinking, worst case scenario, I already handled it. But here's the problem. Comfort is not the same as safety. A stop loss is not a thinking entity. It doesn't analyze context. It doesn't care about consequences. It doesn't care about you. A stop loss is a glorified robot instruction. Price hits here, close trade. End of story. It does not care how big your position is, how many trades you've already taken today, whether you're risking 1% or 20%, whether this is your 5th loss in a row, whether you're emotionally stable or one loss away from revenge trading like a man possessed. It doesn't care if your account is screaming for mercy. It executes and moves on. Which is exactly why so many traders can say, honestly, I followed all my rules and still end up broke. The problem wasn't discipline. The problem was that the rule itself was stupidly incomplete. The seatbelt analogy, or how traders drive like maniacs. Using only a stop loss without real risk management is like wearing a seatbelt while driving 200 kilometers per hour through a school zone. Technically, yes, you are wearing a seatbelt. And yes, that is better than not wearing one. But let's stop pretending. The seatbelt is not the problem. The speed is. The recklessness is. The absolute disregard for consequences is. The seatbelt was never meant to save you from stupidity. It was meant to support reasonable behavior. In trading, the stop loss becomes a last-ditch effort, not a safety measure. And that's where accounts go to die. But I'm not reckless. Yes, you are, just quietly. Here's the funny part. Most traders aren't reckless because they hate money. They're reckless because they don't feel the risk immediately. You open a huge position, nothing happens. Price moves a little in your favor. You think, see, I knew it. Adrenaline kicks in, confidence spikes. You start calculating profits you don't own yet. It feels powerful. It feels controlled. It feels fine until it doesn't. And when it stops feeling fine, it stops fast. By the time the stop loss hits, The emotional damage is already done. The seatbelt didn't fail. Your behavior did. What a stop loss actually does, and only does. Let's clear this up permanently. A stop loss answers one question and one question only. Where does this single trade end if I am wrong? That's it. That's the full job description. It does not answer how much of my account is exposed right now, how many losses I can take before things get dangerous, how correlated my trades are, how emotionally unstable I become after consecutive losses, whether this loss triggers revenge trading, whether I should even be trading today. Those are account-level questions. Stop losses live at the trade level. Risk management lives at the behavior level. Confusing the two is like confusing a single soldier with an entire army. Yes, the soldier is important, but wars are not won by one guy with a helmet. How did I blow my account if I used stop losses? Ah, yes, the great mystery. Traders talk about blown accounts like it was an act of God. I don't know, bro. The market just took me. No, it didn't. Accounts don't blow up from one bad trade. They blow up from systems of bad behavior. Let's list the usual suspects. Number 1, position size from hell. Risking way too much because this setup is clean. Spoiler alert, every setup looks clean right before it fails. Number 2, death by 1,000 cuts. Small losses stacking up until suddenly they're not small anymore. Number 3, correlated trades. You think you have 5 trades, you actually have one big bet wearing different outfits. USD moves the wrong way, everything dies together. Surprise! Number 4, emotional escalation. Each loss hurts more than the last. Each win feels more necessary. Logic quietly exits the room. Number 5, no drawdown limits. No daily stop, no weekly stop. No moment where you say, that's enough, I'm done. So you keep trading, while tilted, while emotional, while dangerous. A stop loss doesn't stop any of this. Behavior destroys accounts, not trades. Confidence, the silent account killer. Let's talk about confidence for a moment. You see a setup. It's beautiful. Textbook. Chef's kiss. Maybe you just won your last trade. So what do? You size up, because confidence. But confidence has nothing to do with probability. The market does not care how sure you feel. It does not reward confidence. It punishes overconfidence. Relentlessly. The market is not impressed by your feelings. It is impressed by your consistency. So, what does real risk management look like? Here's the part nobody wants to hear. Real risk management is boring. Painfully boring. Professionally boring. It looks like smaller lot sizes you can emotionally ignore. Fewer trades, higher quality. Slow progress instead of lottery fantasies. Walking away after a few losses, protecting capital and sanity. It looks like sleeping at night. Not checking your phone every 5 minutes. Not feeling your heart rate spike with every candle. If trading feels like a roller coaster, something is wrong. Professional traders don't feel brave. They feel protected. And that protection comes from structure, not hope. Final thought. Let this hurt a little. Stop losses do not protect accounts. Structure does. Rules do. Discipline does. Until you understand that difference, every stop loss you place is just a decoration on a disaster waiting to happen. If this made you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is clarity arriving, and clarity is the first step towards surviving long enough to actually win. Thanks for watching. If this hit home, subscribe for more uncomfortable truths about trading. See you in the next one.